So I'm here today to talk about the Conte 1710B charcoal pencil, which is probably really more of a composite. Now this is what they look like, and they've got a very, very thick lead, and I sharpen them to this long tapered point. And I do that because I can make beautiful fine lines with the tip. I can turn them on the side and come down the page, which you can see in the background, and I can just put in huge areas of tone really quickly. You can turn them on their side and you can make some really interesting sharp lines. So you can make these go dark and you can make them go light. There is so much to one of these. Now, if I was doing a drawing in graphite, sometimes what we do is we go down the B's. You might miss a few, but you actually need a few more pencils. And the reason why I love these charcoal type sort of composite pencils is because you only need one. So one pencil, and you are going to need I cut mine around in one of these little pencil cases, and it's got some sponge rubber here, and I think this is the mascot for the Met Museum in New York, which is a hippopotamus from their Egyptian collection. And so pencils will go in here. This is the second story here, and I've got enough space for my blade and a kneadable eraser, just like this. Some of the most beautiful drawings that can be created with this particular implement, and these ones here are by Jeffrey R. Watts. And I was studying with Jeffrey's online school, and I'll show you some of these pictures. And these are just done with this particular, it could be a Wolf's Carbon, maybe it's a General, but it's a similar sort of pencil. And I'll show you these. Okay, I'm going to try to sharpen one of these pencils. So this is my hoard of them. So I've got a box here. And I usually use a blade, but I know that a lot of other people, they prefer to use a gem blade, the smaller gem blade. But I often find that it cuts into my finger. So I tend to use one of these swish knives like this. And this one here has just come out of the box. So it's the Conte 1710B. So the first thing that I do is that I just get rid of the wood. And I just peel it off as I go around. And it seems as if it has a little bit of glue which runs around the lead here. And so I try to take it down to the lead here. You may see me break it too. And sometimes before all of that is done, I start to work on the lead itself. Now this is usually where I break it. And I'm trying to do this one here really fast, so most likely I will break it. So I just keep spinning it, turning it as I'm going around like that. So I just keep shaving it, turning it as it goes round and round like that. Now, you need to have about 2 centimeters or maybe a little bit over 2 centimeters of the raw sort of lead, and that still isn't that good. So the other way that you can make these really sharp is that you can use some sandpaper, and you can actually sandpaper them down And you just keep twisting it, twisting it, twisting it, twisting it, twisting it, twisting it like this. Now when you're drawing, you may like to just sharpen up your pencil after every few drawings. And so we're just twisting it and twisting it and twisting it to make it come to a really nice sort of sharp point. Okay, so that's how we end up sharpening it, and that's the reason why we want to keep it in a really nice, safe sort of an area. If you can learn to use sweeps as you go down the page, and as you become used to this particular pencil, you can turn it around. You can put in some really big areas of tone. Now this is a really good lesson to do to build your dexterity, and that is to try to put in a consistent area of tone coming down the page. You can see how fast you can do it. Now, when you have a kneadable rubber, sometimes you can come back into it like that. You can take areas out of it. It's really, really nice to be able to put in some negative shapes with it. So this Conte, it comes off pretty easily, like that. You can do beautiful fine edges with it, really light shapes. You can do some really nice sort of areas by dark to light here. And you can make sharper areas, really sharp lines. It's really, really nice for cross hatching. So you get a huge amounts of looks just from one pencil. I actually like to do this with it. And you can make it look really nice and aggressive. So by now you know why I love the Conte 1710B. I also will use it on smooth newsprint, and I buy these A2 pads like this, and I can buy them in a pad, or you can buy them loose in packs from places like Removalists, Kennards, also from kitchen places, and they come in, they'll be loose. This is my board that I use, and this is my setup. So I use a table easel. I put my board on my knees. If I have photocopies or photographs or my computer, I put it on my table easel like this, so that I've got my image in front of me when I draw, like that. Now, the great thing about using this pencil is that it is a really cheap way of developing so many different skills. You can develop the skills of value, what's light, what's dark. Also edges, so you can have really sharp edges, you can have soft edges. This pencil will give you these edges. And it is also cheap, $6 maybe for one of these, and newsprint is pretty cheap. Now, a lot of people love to go straight into oil painting. Now, the problem is with oil painting is that something like a cad orange will be about $54 for 37 mils. If that's Series 5, Series 6 would be $120. So there's a huge difference in the price. I try to go to life drawing once a week, and I also try to do some drawing at home. And I do a lot of gesture drawings, and then I try to make them have a little bit more sort of structure. I try to do this weekly. The Conte I like so much better than the Willows and also the big sort of Contes, because I just don't want to get everything in a great big mess. So these are the Willows, and this is the Willow Charcoal here. So I think that's about it that I've got to say about the Conte, and I'll do some drawings for you, and I will show you I will show you how I draw, and I will do a drawing live for everybody, hopefully next time when I do an upload. So in the meantime, flood the world with your art. Bye for now.